Hey folks, back again. And like I said, understanding motor controls is the key piece to this. It is, for most of us as an industrial maintenance technician or a multi-craft or an electrician, is understanding how the system works so that we can troubleshoot it. Typically, 99% of the time, it's an existing operation, and it just doesn't work. The operator says, well, I push this button and nothing happens. Or I push this button and X happens, but when I release the button, it stops. And it should be doing X, Y, and Z. So understanding the interaction between the control circuit, which is in blue up back here, and the power circuit, which is in black here. Understanding how those things work together, what controls what, and each side, because it's a little bit different. I used to ask my students, when you press this start button right here, does it turn this motor on? And they would say, well, of course. But the reality of it is it doesn't. It does not. It does not directly control that motor. The only thing it's doing is it's passing the power to this right here, which is representative of the armature and the coil in your motor contactor. That's all that it's doing. Once this thing is energized, okay, then that pulls in the armature, which closes these contacts right here and this contact right here. That's what turns this on, is these sets of contacts right here, okay? So I want to make sure that we all understand which one is in charge, if you will. When I went to trade school, they talked about the master and the slave. I'm not going to use that terminology. It's kind of, politically taboo. I'm not worried about being necessarily politically correct, but I don't want to upset anybody. Okay, that's not my intent with being here. So I'm just going to put it to perspective of, which one controls the other one here. So this right here controls this set of contacts here, okay? This set of contacts here, okay? So the control goes in this direction right here, okay? So understanding that is going to be a key piece for you. Now the next part here is this will also control, you typically will have a set of normally closed contacts. These are going to be at 21, 22, or remember from the previous one, 1, 2, 1, 2, this is a 3 and 4 as far as your basic terminal numbers. But if this has a set of contacts that are normally closed, this would that armature would control this one here also. Okay, so this is key for you to understand, and we'll get into some troubleshooting here in a later video. But this is going to be a key thing for you to understand. The next piece on this to understand is the overloads. Okay, now the overloads are in the power circuit. The purpose, just a reminder for some of you and enlightenment for others, the overloads are what's going to protect the motor from overcurrent and from a direct short. There's other fault devices that are farther down. We've got fuses here, there's circuit breakers and stuff like that. But in this case, the overloads control this set of contacts here. Okay, so the overload controls the overload here. So if the motor overheats, it opens this, which when this opens, this breaks that latch circuit right there and turns. Now this is a key thing. When that opens, all that it does is release the electromagnetic force on that contact or on that coil. If these contacts are welded, it will not release those. Some of the older, these are representative of electronic overloads. So these do not stop the power from going through. If somebody goes up and manually pushes it with their finger, which I highly do not recommend if you're going to manually test those, use an insulated screwdriver. Having a pair of gloves on would be helpful because it's not unheard of for contacts to blow up. I mean, you are testing a system that you're suspect of something being wrong. But if you manually close these contacts, these being tripped will not stop that motor from coming on. So if you have a fault situation, you need to be aware of that. All right, but just remember, the motor contactor, all that this does is perform as far as what it does in the circuit, it makes an electromagnetic force, which pulls in the armature, which closes that set of contacts, potentially a normally closed set of contacts, and for that matter, any auxiliary contacts you have, and it pulls in these main contacts, L1, 2, and 3 on the motor contactor, okay? So this controls all these contacts. This overload controls your normally closed set of overload contacts, 95, 96. There's also a set of normally closed set of contacts, or excuse me, normally open, okay? And those would be 97, 98, okay? And you can use those for faults going into a PLC or something like that. When that makes it, it completes that circuit. It goes back to the PLC as an input to let you know you have a motor that's tripped. Okay. Any questions on this? Please make a comment down below. Again, if there's something that you want to be covered, please let me know. Until next time, be safe out there.